Many times in our lives it happens that everything collapses, or for the better, everything becomes for the worse. Everything around you makes you feel like an obstacle or a setback in your path, and every time terrible things happen to you with despair. But on top of that, any attempt on our part to improve things feels like it makes things worse and more difficult. We have failed. The rest of us choose to do nothing and leave things as they come. If we do something, we leave things alone. It gets worse, and if we don't do it, it will probably get better. Who knows? This is what we will talk about in our book today, Surrounded by Setbacks, Turning Obstacles into Successes by Thomas Erickson, provides us with a way to deal with setbacks and how to get out of them and achieve success in our lives. The issue is not related to what is happening around you, as much as it is related to the way in which you respond to what is happening. How will you learn with the book? Don't forget, where are you going? Don't worry about others, think about yourself, and how do you learn from every setback, and how do you turn them into successes? How to stop wasting your time, and how to deal with your fears. Still. How do you maintain a healthy routine in your life? How do you acquire habits? How do you communicate with others and countries? It is necessary to solve all our problems. We acknowledge an important thing, which is that these are our problems. These are our problems, and not anyone else's, and therefore the first person responsible for solving a solution. Your problem, my friend, is that the first thing you must do is decide to take responsibility for 100% of your problems. You are capable, you are the only one who can solve your problems, because you are simply the person who knows their ins and outs the most, and the place from which they are solved or will be solved is where you are. This is the first thing the writer says, and he prefers to emphasize it throughout the book, that you must bear 100% responsibility for everything you do and the problems that result from it, 100% responsibility for everything you do not do and the problems that result from it, and 100% responsibility for everything that happens to you and the problems that result from it. Green take my mother greets you and tells you to rest in peace. Yes, I was resting in peace with the child. It's all about him. Why is there nothing? There are no things beyond your control. There are no natural disasters. There is no male instinct to smile. When you are rice pudding on the inside, my friend, take it easy on yourself. I know that there are things that are beyond your control. I completely agree with you. These needs are not your responsibility, but what is under your control are the needs resulting from the needs that are outside your control, things that have already happened, and it is not in our power to change them. We are now required to act on the basis of her presence, from which there is no escape. Like a friend who sat at work and spoiled your life, this is out of your control, but the way you interact with him, and that you know his limits, is your responsibility, and you speak Arabic. At the end of the day, I found the road crowded. This is beyond your control, but it is in your control, you who are fanatical and keep complaining. You can use your time and listen to something useful, for example, Akhtar's audio summaries. Akhtar kissed, haha, as the crowding eases, and your road goes smoothly, and as Haruki Murakami, the Japanese novelist, said, pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional. We are emotional creatures who make decisions based on our emotions. Just like a child, when he is hungry, he cries. When he is thirsty, he cries. When he cries, he has a full agenda, God willing. But this child grows up and stops crying, but the way he responds. His feelings still move him differently, and the truth is that his thoughts themselves are what have been cleaned, because according to your thoughts, your feelings are determined by your way of thinking. People look down on you. You will feel that everyone treats you this way, and if your way of thinking is that you are a likable person and know how to speak and treat each other in a friendly manner, then you will find people treating you this way. Thought before emotion, even if we imagine the opposite, with this logic, we are not assigned the role of the victim. We have chosen to live the role of the victim and hope for the thoughts of the victim. In our hands, we can get rid of it and the feelings resulting from it, but what if the matter was as simple as this? All people would have escaped from the role of the victim, but unfortunately, my friend, the role of the victim is attractive and beautiful to many people because it brings him sympathy from others. It would never reach them in any other way, but sympathy will not get you anywhere. Empathy can make you believe that you are actually untalented, unattractive, unlucky, and deserving of this deceptive sympathy from who's around you. I'm not telling you that if you change your idea about your economic situation, you will get more money from the place. But if you change your mind, you are just a victim of circumstances, and you decide to look for ideas that will help you increase your income. You will free yourself from the role that has burdened you, and you will begin to find opportunities to move and solve your problem. Okay, I changed my thoughts, and decided to be better and learn skills that I wanted to learn, and I changed my idea about myself that I am not talented and not attractive, and that I drink milk before I sleep, and this is a man who drinks opposite to each other. What is the next step, Green? I will tell you, my friend. Urgent Green are in the mid-70s, designed by Paul Hersey. Blanchard is a model whose goal was to show the way children learn anything new. We want to know this model so that we know what happens when we learn something new. Because it's just right, my friend, adults are like children. When it comes to learning, the model says that when we learn something new, the first stage is high will, low skill. We are motivated and confident in our abilities, even though we know that we have not done this thing before, like we start a diet. Or we join the gym, or we start a course in learning the Sri Lankan language. Why do we work? Because it is fun, because we appreciate, because we want to feel ourselves and discover it through these actions. Well, the thing that I went to learn did not come out easily. This is the gym. I go to the gym or the diet makes me hungry, and I do not mean that 2 spoonfuls of excess will ruin the world. Or there is no motivation to this extent. We learn the Sri Lankan language at all. We do not know Sri Lanka on the map. At this stage, as we see, we have not yet learned anything really, but we begin to come down to reality and realize the difficulty of the issue for what it is, and most of us fall into surrender here. IT reaches the 3rd stage, low willpower, high skill, and here we still feel the difficulty of the world. But by answering young you still feel like you are an outsider, and there is no strong motivation, but you are starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel. The words of the language you are learning are starting to become familiar. You feel more energetic than your new correct life routine, so you complete and reach the 4th stage, high will, high skill. Finally, you succeed by reaching the goal that you set for yourself in the gym or diet, or in learning the language, or the course, or the skill that you were learning, whatever it may be. The new thing that you were learning was no longer as new as the first, and it became part of your skills that you do with complete confidence, and you became aware that in order to learn this thing, you had to go through the previous stages of false confidence to not surrender to slow improvement, despite the lack of a strong push to finally master, change your outlook on obstacles, and know that they are part of the journey that you are not alien to, but not all obstacles are the same, some. Obstacles are also types, and if we knew how to evaluate every obstacle and problem correctly and give it its true value, we will find that our interaction with problems becomes much better. I mean, if your insect colleague, whom you are extremely intolerant of, is annoyed by you and you compare this to that you are tired and lying at home, you will feel that your problems with him are not the end of the world as you felt them to be, and if you come to compare your fatigue to that of someone, your children are tired, you will feel that your fatigue is not as bad as you would have been from worrying about your children. What I want to say, and what the writer is telling you, is that you need to make a list of your obstacles so that you can evaluate each obstacle in its proper place. Yes, also is suffering. Speak without explaining to you, my friend. The writer, in order to be able to deal with his problems and evaluate them correctly, made a table in which he wrote the obstacles that the nanny faced and rated them out of 100. He wrote the nanny's worst pain was losing his mother and giving him 90. The sleeping problems that he suffered from over the age of 30 had 85 accidents. The Arabic language that happened to me had 75 allergies to animal fur and dust. He went through 20 divorces between his father and his mother while he was still a teenager. And so on. Give every nanny a measure of pain. Because when he goes through pain and a new problem, such as having plumbing problems in the bathroom of his house, or that his children got bad grades for the first time, these are not problems that mean the end of the world. No, he has been through worse than that and knows how to get over it, so these are not problems that will go beyond his feelings. We do not completely underestimate the small daily problems and the amount that they steal from our energy every day, but in terms of their true value, they are beautiful in their place, because not every problem is small. You will make yourself angry with the big ones. What will you do? On the contrary, these small problems, it is the vaccination that gives us immunity so that we can face big problems in a calmer and more stable way. Thus, we changed our thoughts, learned how to learn new things, and knew how to evaluate the obstacles that confront us. We know how this failure happens so we can avoid it, and the writer enumerates such things that happen because of them. Failure in any new project we start, the first of which is that we start without knowing it. Why exactly did we start? I mean, if your friend decided to lose weight, and you asked him why, he will tell you general reasons to stay bettered, or my life is getting better, or he even tells you that there is no need to think about losing weight. It is a nice thing, but everything in life happens for a reason, and your decision to change your life must be based on a reason as well, because when things become difficult, the reason is what makes us think. Why did we start? If we deal with our reason that it is just a momentary enthusiasm, then the reason will end as soon as this moment of enthusiasm ends. Do you know why you started? The writer suggests that instead of focusing on the things you will gain if you lose weight, focus on the things you will get rid of. Like fatigue. When you only get a few steps or be inactive all day, the second thing is that our goals are vague and not specific. Our goals must be specific to the point that you can guide yourself, and what is in front of you is a specific description of what you want to do. I want to lose a little, let it be. I want to reduce 10 kilos of my weight in 6 months. I want to learn Spanish, let it be. I want to reach a level within 1 year. I want it to be a beautiful calligraphy. Let her take a course on Diwani calligraphy, and within a month I will be learning, and it is important that you do not have overlapping goals. Focus on one goal at a time, and as soon as you finish it, move on to the next goal. The third reason that accelerates our failure is that we rush for results as well and ignore the progress that we are achieving. We must trust the plan that we have made and know that the bad habit that has been formed over the years will not be able to be replaced in the future. 2 days or 2 weeks. Even if you do not see immediate results, you must trust the process and persevere. The fourth thing is that we surround ourselves with the wrong people, the friend we will love, and before you change yourself, you must change the environment that created your old self. Surround yourself with people with the mentality you want to have, and you will find that they help you and motivate you as if you are the best. Fifthly, the last thing is that we make small concessions and say it is normal. This is not what will ruin the world, but small concessions lead to bigger concessions, and bigger concessions lead to setback and setback. It will lead us to repeat this video from the beginning. Well, I now have all the tools that will help me reach my goals. Goodbye. Wait a minute, buddy. Still, when I finish speaking, we still have to learn what success means and what success means. I don't work hard. Have a true passion, focus on your strengths, do not be convinced of your normal self, always strive to be better, easy, yes, okay, my friend, in seconds, but let us continue the video. Okay, my friend, is all this sweet talk? Does it bring you closer to success? But suppose you work hard in the wrong direction. Suppose you have passion. You will not get rid of the boring and routine tasks. This is normal. Passion will not be in every action in our lives, and it will be your strength if you only focus on it. Do you know where you need to improve yourself? If you always remain dissatisfied with yourself in order to become better, then you will be satisfied with yourself when you say that you are successful, and for this reason we need to do something that will direct us and not leave all our efforts in the wrong direction, because the reason that most of the things I said a while ago happen is that we do not have a personal definition of success, and come back. In 2 minutes, you will find me asking you about the meaning of success, not the needs that have been achieved, so look with me, my friend. Your definition of success is a definition that comes from within you. Look inside yourself and separate yourself from the expectations and ideas of others. Create your own definition of your success in life. Your success may only be in financial stability. Your success may be in establishing a successful family and raising your children in peace. Your success may be in knowing the world and being exposed to many different cultures. Your success can be anything. The important thing is that it comes from within you, and when you reach your own definition of success, you will be able to get rid of comparing yourself to others, because you will start comparing yourself to who you were yesterday. You will avoid stress. It enhances your self-esteem. Finally, define what success means to you, and do not compare yourself to others. Look at the obstacles, they are part of the journey, and know your position of the obstacle before you so that you do not make it bigger than its size. Avoid the reasons for failure, write down your motivations, focus on one goal at a time, surround yourself with the right people, be patient with the results, and always remember that success is not final, and failure is not fatal. The courage to continue is what matters.